What if modern love isn't about who we connect with anymore, but who we can afford to become? In Celine Song's sophomore debut, Materialists, we're thrown into the woes of love and life in New York City. Except love isn't romantic anymore, it's strategic. And we're trading sparks for spreadsheets. As a high-end matchmaker in New York, Lucy doesn't deal in romance, she deals in compatibility. Her clients aren't searching for soulmates, they're seeking investments. Lifestyle alignment, shared ambition, optimized aesthetics. Partnership becomes less about connection, more about projection. Two personal brands forming a practical alliance. And Lucy isn't exempt from the system she profits from. In fact, she's shaped by it. Her nose job, her breast augmentation, her wardrobe. These aren't vanity, they're investments. Strategic edits in a marketplace where desirability is capital. She curates herself like a luxury product, maintaining the image that her clients pay her to engineer. But beneath it all lies a question she can't quite answer. Does anyone actually love her? Or just the version of her that sells? Lucy doesn't just fear heartbreak, she fears instability. Her childhood taught her that love, left unchecked, can unravel lives and become collateral damage in a war over resources. From that chaos, Lucy learned a lesson many of us absorb far too early, that sometimes love just doesn't cut it. We need structure, predictability, and stability. So she built a life around ensuring it. This isn't just Lucy's philosophy though, it's our cultural norm. Under capitalism, dating has become deeply transactional. Apps treat people like products. Bios function like resumes. We swipe, sort, and filter as if curating a portfolio. The modern love story isn't driven by emotion, but by optimization. The question isn't, who do I love? It's who aligns with the life I'm building. Relationships are framed as lifestyle upgrades, not emotional bonds. Capitalism reshapes intimacy by pushing us to perform ourselves. We're encouraged to brand our personalities, glamorize our vulnerabilities, and make ourselves desirable in ways that are marketable. Our longing to be seen becomes a yearning to be selected. Dating isn't about being real, it's about being chosen. Lucy curates herself just like she curates her clients, carefully and constantly. She doesn't believe in messy love, so she trades that kind of chaos for compatibility metrics and curated feeds, and she shames herself for wanting what society told her to want, because that's another cruel contradiction capitalism builds into desire. It manufactures our wants, then judges us for having them. It sells us the fantasy of the good life, then moralizes against those who pursue it too openly. Then along comes Harry. Handsome, witty, materially successful. He's had leg-lengthening surgery. A man literally stretched to fit the mold. He represents the idealized image of modern dating success. The clean, compromise-free partner with whom life can be lived like a soft-focus Instagram reel. But it's important to recognize that the moment Harry enters the picture, John returns. It's not just plot, it's allegory. The moment Lucy considers curation, she's reminded of the raw. Harry is the distilled image of the modern dating prize, emotionally intelligent, financially stable, and filtered to perfection. He is what dating apps promise at the end of endless swiping, a man who has been stretched to meet the standard. But Harry doesn't represent love, he represents success. He's not just a person, but a symbol. Lucy could have a curated life with Harry, but only by continuing to edit and curate herself. He requires a version of her she doesn't fully believe she is, or deserves to be. Even in private, she doesn't tell him the full truth about her work, the darker sides, the compromise, the aftermath. She just can't risk ruining the illusion. If Harry sees the mess behind the matchmaking, behind her, would he still want her? In a world where we're taught that being chosen is proof of worth, revealing too much feels like a risk you just can't afford. And this is what so many face today. When our desires clash with our sense of self-worth, we don't choose what we need, we choose what feels permissible. That's why John reappears. Not just as an ex, but as a reminder. He's emotional, unpredictable, and imperfect. Where Harry is clean lines, John is raw edges. Their love failed not for lack of passion, but because of practical strain. Rent, class, survival. Lucy couldn't make that love work, and she hated herself for it. Not because she didn't love John, but because she wanted more than love. Her guilt isn't personal, it's systemic. And her breakup with Harry? The scene plays like a bit, disjointed, void of negative emotion, and peppered with mismatched humour, as if Lucy is editing it out in real time, for the optics. It's a business decision. This speaks to our world where even pain has to be palatable. Breakups aren't private, they're presentable. We don't grieve in silence, we frame the narrative. Sadness becomes content, and breakups don't bleed, they trend. But what gets lost is the mess, the risk, the truth that love is not always compatible with optimization, that sometimes love doesn't fit the lifestyle, that it can't always be controlled. We see this when Sophie, one of Lucy's clients, perfectly profiled and carefully matched, is victim to an SA. The algorithm didn't save her, the system failed. In that moment, the whole illusion of safety collapses. For Lucy, it's a reckoning. No amount of curation can protect you from pain. Optimization doesn't guarantee safety, it isn't programmable, and it can rear an ugly head despite aesthetics at any time it chooses. So Lucy returns to John, perhaps not as a triumph, not even necessarily as a better choice, but as a symbol of risk, of raw, of imperfect, of what it means to choose not the right partner, but the real one, even if it's hard, even if it's uncertain. And that's what makes Materialists so unsettling, because it's not just about Lucy, it's about all of us. In a world where everything has become a performance, where authenticity is monetized, where dating is gamified, and where heartbreak has to be edited down to something consumable, what happens to real connection? When we're trained to see love as a means to a lifestyle and our value as dependent on our desirability, intimacy stops being an act of vulnerability and becomes a calculation. So if Materialists left you uneasy, maybe that was the point. Maybe it's not a failure in storytelling, but a mirror, not held up to love itself, but to the system that makes love feel like a product. We're not just looking for partners, we're looking for proof that we're enough. And in a capitalist world, that's the most expensive thing of all. Make sure to comment your thoughts on Materialists the movie or how capitalism has influenced modern dating culture.